Alright, so to make a blues piece using Musescore, if you start a new piece, just set the title as blues, maybe C Blues, just so we've got something in there. Choose instruments. We're going to go for a grand staff, that's a treble and bass clef stave, so that we can get in our bass line, our walking bass, and our 12-bar blues chords. Let's just go that far for the moment. Okay, so we're going to go continue. It's in C, so we're going to keep it to that key signature, and now we're going to input the notes. Okay, so for the moment, maybe if we just keep the C blues chords to being 4-beat chord semi-brief per bar. Okay, so you can copy and paste this to save yourself time. Okay, so once you've inputted that, once you've pressed escape to get rid of the blue notes there, you can select the bar. You can press on Apple Command C, I think on is it Control C on Windows? It's whatever you do to press copy. Next bar, copy it over. So we have C for 4 bars, then we have an F chord. So again, I'm going to input that. Okay, press escape to get off that. Select the bar, Command C, again there, and then we get back to 2 C's. So I'm going to select that, go there. Okay, now we've got a G chord, so I'm going to go up here. Then we've got an F chord. We've already done the F chord, so I'm going to select that, copy it again, move that there. Then we've got a C chord after that, and then we end on a G chord. So I'm going to copy that and put it there. So how many bars have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's all in there now. So to do the walking bass line, we've got 2 different options. If you want to start with a simplistic one, it's made up of 2 of those per bar and then 1 of those. You could do the walking bass, which is just steady notes like that. So if you go down here, this is a C here. Now this is meant to be a B flat, so how do we do that? Go up here and we can do it like that. Okay, so we'll go back here and carry on. Now if you put that all together, it sounds like this so far. Okay, that's sounding right. Now this bass line repeats again here, so to save us time, we're going to select those 2 bars, we're going to copy it, and we're going to go there. Okay. Now we've got a similar pattern, but starting on F this time, so we're going to go back here, and we're going to start on the F. So again, we want that to be flat, so I'm going to escape there. I'm going to press the flat, click off, and then go back. Okay, so then we're going back to the C chord, so we're going to copy that again, those first 2 bars. Copy it, paste there, and then for the G, this is the G here, I'm going to input that in again. So that just goes for 1 bar, then we go back to the F. So we're going to copy the first bar of the F pattern here, and then only 1 bar of the C, so we're going to copy that again. And then, as this is the last one in the pattern, we're going to just have a descending idea going from G down to C. So this is what we've got so far. Click off that, go back to the beginning. Alright, so that's a good start to the piece. Obviously they're quite boring chords at the moment, aren't they? Just one chord per bar. As we develop the piece, we can start to get these a bit more interesting, maybe playing more of a syncopated rhythm, catchy offbeat rhythms, but for the moment that's going to be the start of our piece. So now our next step is to input a melody, a melody based on the blues scale. So to do that, we're going to add in another track, another stave, another line here, so that we can have our melody above this. So if we go up here, we can go to Edit and Instruments. Now that's what we've got in the piece so far. We can add in another instrument here. You might want to just do another keyboard line. It doesn't really matter too much. We've got woodwind options there. A clarinet or saxophone might be good. Brass, maybe a trumpet, trombone could be good. So for the moment, because saxophones play in a different key, we're going to go for a concert pitch instrument, okay? So a good start to this would be a trombone, okay? So that's in there now. We're going to press OK, and we've got this in here. Now the trombone is a bass clef instrument, so it does have a lower pitch to it, but we're going to try and input a melody to this, okay? So to start with, we could just start by inputting the blues scale, so we know what we're working with here, okay? So that is C, E flat. So we'll click off that there. F, F sharp, click off it again, G, B flat, and C. So all of that together sounds like this. So you could just play that back down again, but obviously it's a bit boring and we want to get it sounding a bit more interesting. So for instance, if we wanted to take this C and we wanted to put it up an octave, a quick way of doing this on Apple is to press Command and then the up button on your keyboard. Now you can see when the note can be played by an instrument, it's a blue note. When it goes too high or too low, it goes red. So when it goes red, we don't want to play that note because the instrument we pick will not be able to play that note. It's too high for it. Alright, so we're going to play around with these notes now. We're going to keep that there. Maybe what we should do is we're going to take our whole piano accompaniment, we're going to copy it and we're going to put it there. So this is our the notes. We've got that there as our guide. We're going to start our melody here. So what are we going to do? Maybe we'll start with a 2-beat note. It can be any of those blues scale notes. I'm going to start with the G. And then a C. Then some 1-beat crotchet notes. So all together it sounds like this now. I like that, so maybe we'll copy that again because we want repetition in our melody so it becomes memorable. Now for this section we're going to change it up a bit. So maybe what we'll do is we'll keep the same rhythmic pattern but we'll change the notes. So we'll go for two bar notes again. Maybe we'll start on the C this time. So now we've got this idea. Okay, so we're starting to get a bit of a melody in there. It's not the best melody you ever hear, but one thing you've got to bear in mind is the playback on this makes everything sounds very robotic. So if you get your score played by real instruments, it's going to sound better. It's going to sound a bit more alive because the playback does its very best to make it sound as bad as possible. So keep that in mind when you're putting in your melody. So this is a rough guide to starting your 12-bar blues chords, your walking bass line, and your blues melody.